Diddy's ex-employee Capricorn Clark took to the witness stand today and her testimony is already explosive.
P. Diddy's defense team today, they absolutely got their asses handed to themselves with this testimony of Capricorn Clark. I mean, you can't make this up. You're talking about capping. You're talking about the life being threatened, that you're not going to be here no more, and that you are complying and doing all the things because you're afraid that P. Diddy's going to take your life. This was a game changer today. This was looking into the eyes of Sean Puffy Combs, looking at a man saying, oh my God, like reality has just set in that I might be spending the rest of my life in prison. Oh my God, this can't be happening.
Yes, this is a quick update. I want to summarize what exactly is going on. This trial is blowing up on social media like never before. A lot of people are saying, Diddy is done. Like you have seen here, extremely concerning. When you take a look at this video, I'm about to show you ex-Diddy rival says there is no case against him. Puffy and I are not friends, but Puffy should definitely work, said Knife said bluntly. I don't think this is a case where Puffy should be going to prison. Knife made the comment when asked about Capricorn Clark, Diddy's former assistant, who is now a key witness in the federal and investigation. When I take a look at his response on this video, it tells me a different story. What I see people put out every single time. If you love what I'm doing here, please subscribe and if possible, share the video.
Tell us about Capricorn Clark and whether you believe she is a credible witness for the prosecution to make a racketeering case against Sean Diddy Combs.
Well, look, I say this all the time. Puffy and I are not friends, but Puffy should definitely walk. At the end of the day, how I know Capricorn and when I first heard about Capricorn, it was back when I was doing prison time. When I was doing prison time, it was a guy that didn't work for Death Row, but he was over the security company. This guy, Capricorn, broke his windshield in the back of his truck. He wanted her to pay for it. She couldn't pay for it. A guy named Reggie White Jr. told her, well, you got to have something with me or you pay for it. So she couldn't pay for it, so he forced her to have it with him, but they were still talking after that, right? But the most important thing is that it was other executives that was involved in Puffy's life. And for Puffy to be the only guy that gets on the stand is a sad day for hip-hop, because once Capricorn had got beaten up allegedly, everybody said, well, she got her ass whooped. And when she was approached by an executive from Interscope, and you got to remember, Capricorn wasn't the artist on Interscope. Puffy wasn't doing business with the guy in Interscope. If you guys want his name, I'll tell you. And when they talked to him, Interscope gave Capricorn $1 million, a check, for don't say nothing about the incident with her and Puffy. She got mad because she had to pay taxes on it. And she thought it was a settlement where she didn't have to pay taxes on it. So when Jimmy Iovine gave her that check, that's when all hell broke off. But at the same time, I don't think this is a case where Puffy should be going to prison. And
do you believe is Capricorn believable with this story with Diddy?
This is what I do know. I was in New York. And when I was in New York, it was me and a limo driver. That's it. I'm in different spots eating just by myself. I walks out, I see Capricorn, and I see another. So those two hung out with me in New York, from restaurants to running around to doing whatever. So I don't know if the part that she was so scared of Puffy that they wouldn't talk to me, because I'm hanging out with them in New York, just us three. And I'm not here to badger nobody, but at the same time, when Reggie Wright Jr. basically made Capricorn, she said it over and over and over, I don't want to have sex with the fat man.
Too late.
Okay, but they did. and she continued to be around, right? But when it's all said and done, how could every person who's involved with Puffy is not on the stand, except
Right.
for Puffy?
I get
at
it.
some point,
I get it.
the law got to be blind.
I believe you heard him. He seemed not to be happy, like this guy is standing alone. A lot of people should be there because they are part of the whole situation. When I look at people's response under this video, it is extremely concerning to see how people are reacting to it. Someone wrote, this case is very complicated for an average person to understand. The goal of the prosecutor is to nail the charges, but it is still a long way. Whatever the witnesses are saying for now is just part of the build up and, of course, softening the jury and tainting public perception. That is it. We still have a very long way to go. I decided to be updating people about this whole situation, maybe one clip per week, because I'm not inside there to see exactly what is going on. Look at the turn of this whole situation is going to.
This is part 2 of Capricorn Clark's testimony, and on the stand, she talked about how she would set up hotel rooms for Diddy. She said in the hotel rooms, there would be cameras, baby oil, lube, and of course, substances. She talked about Diddy's aliases at the hotel rooms and said his girlfriend's aliases would be Jackie Star and that Kim Porter would stay in these hotel rooms once a week. And she said she would also be in another hotel room watching TV, catching up on sleep, and ordering room service. When Diddy would be done with the hotel rooms, she would have to clean them up, and she said there would be so much baby oil that sometimes she would even see handprints. In 2008, she said Cassie would be at these hotel rooms about once a week. Asked if Diddy ever talked about Cassie to her, she said yes, and then detailed how one time it was her, Miss London, and Chef Jordan in a room with Diddy. Diddy called Cassie to come into the room. He asked her to do some things. He asked her to twirl and then told her to leave. And tells the women, you bees wouldn't do that, and that's why you don't have a man. She responded saying, you're mother effing right. He talked about how Diddy would have her get substances for him, and one time he asked her to get snow, and she said, for who? And when the prosecutor asked, why did you ask that? She said, because my mother passed away from that and I wasn't going to do it. When Diddy told her that it wasn't for her, she went and got it from one of the security guys. And she said he also would get prescription substances in my name. They were in a toiletry bag that I would carry around or security. She also talked about Diddy's cash and how one time he had 100,000 euros on the private jet with him that he was bringing back after doing club appearances in Europe. She said he would give it to security and then it would go into his bedroom personal safe. When she came back to work for Diddy, and this was after he had pushed her that one time in Miami, she said she was more so working for Cassie. Told her you wouldn't be working directly for me, but he had final approval on everything that Cassie did. She then talks about the fact that they all moved to LA because of Kim Porter, but Cassie stayed in New York. When she would come to LA, she would either stay in a hotel with Diddy or with her. Now we get into December of 2011 when Diddy found out about Kid Cudi. Capricorn Clark said that one day Cassie had come over and she had brought with her Kid Cudi. She said after finding out about him, one day Cassie had texted her saying that she wanted to go out in public in LA with him. She told her, delete this text. You're texting me on a phone that Diddy pays for.
Yes, that is just a summary of what actually happened, not the ending. Megyn Kelly had this to say about this whole situation. Since this trial started, she has been covering this, giving opinions every single time. I saw this video. I could not bypass for people who are asking that I should be updating this every single day. I won't lie to you. I have other things that I can do, reasons. I usually take this, maybe one clip is enough. I can't really take this whole situation to cover the whole trial. I can't do that. I have other clips that I put out every single day.
The superseding indictment, the most recent indictment, alleges there are 3 victims of his in this trafficking lane. And then we believe the jury would hear from them. Now we understand only 2 will be heard from. We've been reporting this, but now it's confirmed that victim 3 is not expected to testify. She's been identified as victim 3. 3 sources familiar with the case told CNN this is the woman who's been referred to as Gina throughout the trial. She's an ex-girlfriend of Combs. The defense's theory is that he was cheating on Cassie with Gina and possibly others, and that Cassie was blind with jealousy. And most of her complaints about him related to the fact that he was with Gina, and she was very angry and yelling at him. In any event, what we believed was that Gina was going to take the stand. Now we think she's not, because the source is saying to CNN she just didn't want to do it, did not want to take the stand. But she was referenced in the indictment as part of the racketeering conspiracy count. It says that Combs and his associates wielded his power through his business empire to intimidate, threaten, and lure at least 3 female victims, 1, 2, and 3, under the pretense of a romantic relationship, and coerced them into engaging in commercial acts.
That is it. Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. If you notice, this topic is actually complicated. So putting out videos can be sometimes difficult, but we're trying our best. If you see any clip after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm. If you'll notice, on some of my videos, I do that because these people don't want to pick up videos for recommendation.
I don't know. I wouldn't even let him give me a Heimlich maneuver.
Effing who?
People line up for my advice, and you're walking away like I'm stupid. It's like I've written books, I've given speeches.
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize? Not just us.
The natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids.
Wrong with this person. Like, she's seriously depressed here, and actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
What did you make of Donald Trump's post this morning alleging that since
it also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
Resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case.
Because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything, and then
Registration Act.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
term, and you will be very.
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does every year. This Carmelo Anthony case.
Live in the White House. Many people
like a little unhinged drunk.
And black people don't want to live around ratchet black.
We don't have a race problem in this country. We